And we are recording on Wednesday, July 19th, 2023 at 4:06 p.m. Eastern Time with Mr. Jonah Gold, who I have rudely rescheduled on several times. And you have the patience of a saint. And he's also, I don't think we've ever done an episode with somebody in Sweden. You're in Stockholm, Sweden. And we're going to talk about meditation. And you said you had heard me talking about it and something resonated with you. So that's what we're going to jump into right now. I've done a lot of these episodes where people email me about a topic or something. And I'm like, just come on the show. And they're like, all right. So Mr. Gold, could you please introduce yourself and then we can dive into whatever you want to talk about?
Yeah, Tommy, it's very gracious of you to have me on your show. I'm Jonah Gold. I am a lot of things. Most of all, I'm a sound engineer. I've been working as a sound engineer for many years in Sweden and all through Europe. I turned artist now since the pandemic here, and the response, I tried to find some artists to sing about what was happening. And some wanted to, but they didn't really know what to say. So I realized they don't know the stuff that I know, so I had to sing it myself. So I started. It gave me an excuse to start singing, eh?
Yeah,
So I'm an artist. But
beautiful.
apart from that, I'm also an audiologist. I was in audiology school at the med school, basically, kind of. And I was finishing up when the pandemic hit, and I was actually reading statistics at the time. So I decided, okay, let's look at the statistics of this thing, because I was skeptical from day one. I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
This sounds weird. So I just started looking, and I saw directly that this is a storm in a water glass, as we say over here.
Dorminal. I've never heard that before.
Storm i ett vattenglas.
What is
Yeah,
that? What does that mean? It's a
it
contained
just means
disaster.
it's just blown out of proportion.
Oh,
Okay, you have a
all right.
storm, but it's in a
You
water
zoomed in
glass.
on a water. Okay, I got you. All right, I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But so
So that's
what'd you say? Sorry, what did you say you were in with audiology?
audiology,
What's
yes.
that?
That's for the ears.
Okay, all right.
Kind of like an ear doctor,
Got
if
you,
you want
got
to
you, got
simplify
you.
it.
Yeah,
Mm.
got you.
We have a simplified version over here, so it's not quite as advanced as you guys over there, but it's the same subject.
Whatever.
And
And
it's very advanced subject. I loved it, actually.
really, and so had that. So you're doing that, looking at statistics at the start of the pandemic,
Hmm.
and it just kind of all seemed like horseshit.
Yeah, I wouldn't use that word, but blown out of proportion is like
Sure.
what's going on. This response is not reasonable.
Yeah. And so
Uh, and we didn't have any lockdowns over here, so we immediately got here. But this is the topic of the day. But we didn't have any lockdowns, and but we didn't do any concerts, like live events. And it's like, okay, so I'm out of work, and I was not part of any union, because if you were part of the union, maybe you got some money there and stuff like that. But I was a free guy, so I got no money. I was, they pulled my money straight off. So I was pissed off. Also, I
yeah,
was concerned what is going on.
yeah.
So that drove me into that.
How did
But
that how did that
yeah,
lead into to the so what led you to this podcast, if you don't mind me asking?
uh, George Webb,
All right. All right.
Peter McCullough, Dr. Malone, and all of the rest.
Hell yeah.
And then eventually I was like, oh, this Tommy guy is he's like you say, I'm resonating somehow with what you're doing.
And so concerning the meditation,
Yeah.
what did you mean when you were saying it's for some people it's a practice and for some people that they're kind of clicking with it? Could you maybe expand on that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I could expand forever on that.
Go for it.
For me, it was a practice at first. I started out because I started out with like mental practice. I was a tennis player as a youth, and I was a macro on the court. So I had a very bad temper. And eventually it's like people is like, okay, this boy has talent, but his mind is he's not in the right place. So they instructed me in mental training, and I started to realize, okay, this is something. So early on, I had that foundation. And then eventually, as you grow older, you want to get rid of your old foolish ways. As a youth, you made many crazy things, and you want to step away from that, and you discover meditation, right? So, and then the meditation is a practice to get away from that old self, or to become a better person, to cope with everyday life and all of that. And then eventually I was successful in my meditation. I took it very serious. That's the only thing I've taken really serious. Bought books and went to the send people here in Stockholm to meditate with them and all of that. And I felt like I was very successful in my meditation, in the sense that, I got that great relief, the focus, and all of the things that you talk about. And I was a successful meditator, which became a part of my identity now. It's like, oh, I'm a successful meditator. It's like, oh, I have some knowledge in this area. But then you realize, okay, but nothing has changed. I'm still provoked. I can still be that same old fool. Once I step outside and I meet the world, shit happens, and I don't want it to.
Yeah.
It's painful, and it is even more painful now when you have meditated and you know that there is something greater here, and you're still triggered to be that old fool. And that was very painful. I was like, so eventually I was like, what am I going to do? And I prayed actually to have an answer, and the answer was revealed to me through a guy called Muji.
Yeah.
And Muji, on the other hand, brought me to Ramana Maharshi.
Yeah.
This guy.
Yeah.
You familiar?
Yeah. Alan Watts always talks about him.
Well, then we can end the podcast now. We're home already. Then.
Yeah.
But this guy taught me that there is a next level. You have to the state of mind that you like is a state of mind, and meditation is not something that you go into. Meditation is ground zero. Meditation is what is here all the time. What you go in and out of is your mind and your ego. Exactly.
Yeah.
But the meditation is here all the time. And for me, it sounds like nothing. I know. And it is nothing. If you don't take it serious, it is nothing. But for me, it changed everything, because then I could then I could really meditate. Then I could get that silence, and I could get the space, and I still haven't found a boundary there. It's endless, limitless, and it's just freedom, and it's real. I'm still the old fool, but I'm not attached to that one, and it's not painful anymore.
Yeah, that is kind of like the path you go through with meditation. Is at first it's this cool tool to utilize in this world. You're like, oh, it makes me better at studying or dieting or fucking or drawing or whatever. And then you go
manipulating people.
Sure, right? And then you go through this stage of like, for me, it was many years of, and still somewhat present, is you're always trying to get back to it. It's like getting high, right? You're getting drunk. I just need one more drink to get there. Just keep smoking, take another pill. I'm almost there, right?
Yes.
And then you get it, and it's bliss, and then you can't even really enjoy it because you're like, I know it's just going to go away. Exactly. And then you start to get this creeping feeling of, no, I think what I'm entering is my life. Like oftentimes when I'm meditating, I get really into it. It feels like I've paused a video game, and like the video game is my life. Like I got a big TV right here. I play video games on at night. And if I pause it, the screen stops. And I'm like, oh, I'm not actually in this video game. I'm sitting in a room. And you can kind of look around. And then you can go, okay. You can pick up the controller and you go, let's start again. And then you go in, right? And that's the feeling you inevitably eventually get with meditation is you slow down to ground zero, the template, the starting point, the ultimate reality is that complete peace, no swaying from emotions, no hormone. You're not angry, you're not horny, you're not hungry, you're just there. And then you can almost say to yourself, you're like, now we're gonna go back into the game. And another thing that will happen for years and years and years is I don't want to go back into the game. I want to push the game away. The game's bad. That's all. It's full of earthy desires, and I want a cheeseburger, and I want to jerk off, and I want to go take a nap, and I want to listen to music. I want to stay here. I want to stay in this tranquil hot tub of just love. And I think, as Ram Dass said, his guru told him, Neem Karoli Baba, he goes, Ram Dass, you're in school. Why don't you take the curriculum? And then you realize that, oh, this whole life is not just this extra shit that you're supposed to get rid of. No, you're in school. So then you start to look at this thing you were pushing away, not as this inherent bad, but it's a lesson. And so if you go outside and somebody gets your temper going, it's not just that that's something that you need to cut out. It goes, no, 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 no. This is the problem. Here's the temper. Work with it. And you go, oh, okay. Or here's you're yearning for the past, or here's anxiety about the future. And if you get lost in them and you don't meditate, it becomes very overwhelming and it becomes reality. You go, oh, this is fucking terrifying. Versus if you can every day come back down to that ground zero, you go, oh, I'm dealing with, and there is no limit to the forms it can come in. It can come into you're adopting a puppy, or your grandma died, or the politician you don't like got elected, or whatever the fuck. It can come in many different, infinite ways, but they're all teaching you lessons, and it doesn't make it that much less painful, but it makes it a little. It's like that quote: "You're suffering without purpose is hell, but suffering with purpose, you go, okay, we're working towards something, and you're working towards, I imagine, some form of getting out of the karmic circle of just slowly." And that's why I try not to avoid things, because I think if you avoid them, I think you just got to go through them in the next life. Like if I avoid it in this life, if I went this whole life and was like, oh, I'm not going to start the podcast, I'm scared, I would just have to live this life again and start this podcast. And then there's probably something I'm supposed to be doing right now that I'm not. And that's fine. You got to do it next life. There is no escaping. You got to do the work. You're here until you finish. And there's peace in that, I think. I don't know.
That's wisdom. Did you see the movie Dhamma Brothers?
No.
So these guys are on death row, and they get the chance to go into a meditation class, and the movie is about that. And it's the best meditation class they've ever had, of course, because they have nothing to lose. It's their last chance. And I get goosebumps just speaking about it. I don't know if you can see. Can you see my goosebumps?
Yeah.
It's amazing, moving movie, and if these guys can feel some hope, then we can do too out here. For me, the difference between living my life and being life, I had to sort that out, and I am life, and whatever happens, living life is, like you say, it's a video game. It's just, and everyone kind of knows, and everyone kind of agrees, but everyone has that recognition to a certain degree. And I feel like you're deep into this. You know what I'm talking about.
And then once you think you start to get it figured out, you realize you know absolutely nothing. It just humbles you. He goes, you figured it out? You go, yeah, I figured it out. And he goes, all right, how about this? And just smacks you across the face.
Yeah. My big problem for a long time was excitement, because I was feeling, eventually it's like, okay, I'm breaking through. Breaking through.
Yeah.
It's happening. It's happening. It's like, no, it's not happening at all.
Yeah. Oh,
no,
yeah.
no,
That's
no,
the other
no.
thing. Yeah. You start to get in and you're like, You're like, you're like, oh, it's you get really deep in meditation. You're like, oh, I'm finally like leaving this hell. I'm breaking
Yes.
through, and then it's nope, starts to slip
No.
away.
Yep.
Starts to slip away. So
Right. Right.
you know it's weird though. It's like if you listen to Ram Dass and he would talk about his gurus, he goes, we're all so focused on enlightenment, nirvana.
Yeah.
When you talk to the gurus, he goes, that's just one step. We like to think of it as the end. There's peace. He goes, no, they describe it as the foothills at the beginning of the mountains. They go, Nirvana is just level one. You're like, what? What could even be past it? And they're like, it's just a phase.
Yeah. Yeah. I resonate with that. The way I see that is nirvana is, the mind's interpretation of this freedom.
Hmm.
Because where you're still associated with the mind, but you're breaking free, and in that process the mind will experience extreme bliss,
Hmm.
nirvana. But beyond that there is nothing.
What do you mean
Which
there's nothing?
the bliss resides, and then this, it just is.
It's just that's like the deepest
it,
level.
which sounds bitter, and it's like, what's the point then? But
It's not.
to it's not,
Yeah.
you know.
Because even bliss is still like
It's
an
a
emotion.
man.
You're like,
Yes,
oh, it
thank you.
feels so good. You're like, oh, but yeah, no, you can. And it's maybe only like two or three times in my life. You can go even deeper than bliss, and it's just pure isness. It's quiet. There are no emotions. It's beyond peace, and it's the best thing I've ever experienced in my life. It's better than any drug I've ever done. It
And
is just, it
it
can't be
cannot be
replicated.
described.
No, it
No.
can't. No, that's the other thing. Is like it's outside of this reality. So it, and when you're in that moment, when thoughts eventually come back, I've told myself like you won't be able to understand this once you're out of it, right? And it's like it's
Well,
like if you,
my point, Tommy, is that you never
yeah.
go out of it.
Except, well, that's the other
You're
point is no,
never
you're
out of
always
it.
there. That's
Yeah.
it's going on right now. This is just
Mm.
a hiccup. This is just a blip, and this is just a, and even that though, the wording we're using says that this is like a bad, this is an accident. This is just this is the record skipped, and it's like no, the record didn't skip at all. This is as important.
Yep.
How is that? Because so for me, I primarily use it in that it kind of clears my. I still very much so use it like a tool, and I think that's probably not how you're supposed to use it. But for me, I still very much so use it like a dumb human in that I almost use it like a Xanax. It helps the anxiety go away. Do you experience that? Because that's the real. We were talking beforehand when I tell people I've meditated every day for 15 years. Like, oh, that's such great discipline. And to me, that's like me saying, yeah, no, if you eat every day, no one rewards you and goes, congratulations, you eat. Or I have to take a shit every day. No one goes, wow, you're committed. You go, what? I fucking have to. What do you mean? If I don't, I'll die. That's how I feel with meditation. Is it's very much so. If I don't do it, things go very south very quickly. How do you use it?
Well, I don't use it anymore, Tommy. I don't sit down. Yeah, I do actually. I was gonna say I don't sit down to meditate, but I do. It happens spontaneously, right? But
Yeah.
I don't plan it. I don't have a schedule, but
Okay.
I do on a daily basis too. But it it it's permanent. Whatever I do right now, in every pause, especially when we speak about this subject, there is pauses, there is silence, and in every pause, it just shines through. You know what I mean? So you don't have to sit down a bit. It's there all the time, Tommy. It's just constant blessing, permanent blessing,
Yeah.
everywhere you look, even in pain and suffering. It's like, oh, here comes pain
Yeah.
in this shining awareness. I am awareness. Is makes all the difference.
what I mean, and it always comes down to this. This is like for me, it's just when you really get into it, it's you almost become bewildered at some point. You go,
Mm,
what is this? What
yeah.
is it's like if you've ever woken up when your eyes are still shut and you kind of fall asleep on a plane or something, you wake up but your eyes are closed and you're like, I am. I can hear a baby crying. The jet engines are you go, here I am. It's like
Mm,
it's like in Captain America with Ultron, the evil AI. I love when they first create him because all of a sudden it's like a black screen and you just hear, what is this place? What what is this? And it's sentience. And it's you can't and that's what it gets to is when you're really deep down in there, it's almost you go, what is it? Not what am I and what is life and what is America. No. It's beyond that. You what is this? What is this? Why is
and
this?
and once you have that question, there's no turning back. You're already home.
What's the
It's like
final question? It's the final
yeah,
question.
everything will, sooner or later just it manifest, I'm sure. It Meditation for me, it was building up interest, and realizing that, okay, there's something here. It's like I became more and more interested in finding out, and eventually I had to find out. It's like, what is going on here? What is what? Who am I and what am I not? It's like, and then meditation, it was easy, right? Because then you're on the train track and the train is coming. It's like, I have to get this now. And that was the same thing with the Dhamma brother, the people on death row. This is like, the train is coming. I'm on the train track. I need to get this now.
Hmm.
And and that is, for me, that was a process. The meditation did that.
Yeah.
Studying about it, reading about it, built up the interest in it. Eventually, it's like, I have to find out. And once you really want to find out, you will find it.
Yeah. Yeah. Once you're ready to let go, you can't force it. You can't force to let go because deep down, if you still want to go get drunk and chase women and eat hamburgers, deep down, you'd still want to do that. So you're going to do that. Right. But once you want to start to let go, you'll start to let go. Does it make you think that I heard Duncan Trussell say this like 10 years ago? He goes, is this he goes, it seems like the world is getting crazier and crazier. He goes, is this your dream waking you up slowly? It has to manifest in a way, right? Ram Dass said that enlightenment came to the West in the form of LSD because we're a materialist culture. So of course it came in the form of a product, right? And we're a military culture, the US military industrial complex. So of course it comes from the CIA. That's how we have collectively manifested it, right? So,
Mm,
in 100 years, it might manifest as an app or something, right? Or for Elon Musk, it might manifest as getting to Mars. That's how your brain has rationalized the end point. And Duncan Trussell said that as we are willingly or unwillingly going towards enlightenment, you can either do it or the world will force you to do it. And so right now
mm,
it's like, are we going to World War III? Is there going to be another pandemic? Is there going to be an asteroid? Is it global warming? What is it? What's the thing? But it's almost like the dream is forcing you to wake up from all angles. It's just coming at you. It's going, and at first it's terrifying. You go, oh fuck, it's gonna end. I'm gonna die. But no, it's just it's time. It's like when you're sleeping, your alarm goes off, and you hear your alarm in your dream, but you don't know what it is. You're like, what the fuck is that noise? And then you wake up, right? It's kind of like, what the fuck is this noise? Oh no, there's an asteroid, or there's aliens, or they're gonna launch nukes at China, or what? It's just all these little things of the mind is going, wake up, wake up, wake. It's our alarm clock right now. oh, I had such a bad dream that my alarm was going off and that it meant I was going to be executed or something. We're going to wake up from this and be like, we're all going to be sitting around and we're like, oh, dude, I fucking thought that they were about to launch nukes and that the aliens were coming and that, Cthulhu came out from the ocean or some shit. Like, and it's like, yeah, no, that was just our alarm clock. It's like a metaphysical ninth dimensional alarm clock. What do you think about that? Or am I just losing touch with the reality?
No, it's certainly ringing everywhere right now. It's amazing. You feel like the whole world took LSD and you're the only one who didn't.
You feel like
Isn't that
everyone's tripping.
exactly?
Yeah. And then every once in a while you find someone else who isn't tripping, right?
Exactly.
It's like
It's
we're
an
talking right
instant.
now. Every time when you
It's
talk to
an
someone, you go, "Do you think this is wild?" They go, "This is fucking nuts." You go, Are we dreaming?" They go, "I think we are dreaming." And you kind of huddle together. You're like, "All right, I'm not gonna tell anyone else because they're crazy." But like, no, dude, I feel it too.
it's
I feel it too. Like, right?
it's an instant brotherhood, and it's
Yeah, yeah,
across
yeah,
all nations and across all political and religious
yeah,
denominations. It's beautiful, actually.
yeah,
It feels holy in a way. It
yeah.
feels
No,
like prophecy being fulfilled.
that's a great way to say it. It's like an instant brother. Yeah, no, I've met people. I mean, I've literally been in a sauna or on an airplane, and you talk
Yep.
to someone about like meditate, and they do it too, and like you kind of look at each other, and it's like you're the only ones that can see, it's like the emperor has no clothes and everyone's cheering on how beautiful the robes are. And you look at someone else, you're like, Dad, I can see his dick. And you one other person's like, I see it too, man. That old guy's floppy dick's just hanging out. And you go talk to each other, you're like, yeah, I don't want to say that out loud because these people might kill me, but you're like, do you see it? And then you meet someone else too. They're like, yeah, his balls are hanging out. And you're like, yeah, no, we see it too. And you're like, all right, you guys see it? Okay, I see it. Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
see it too. All right. And you feel a little less crazy. You're like, all right, at least okay, I'm glad we're in this thing together.
Yeah. And someone has to tell him, but we can't tell him right now.
No.
First, we have to tell that guy, and he has to tell that
Yeah,
guy,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
then we can tell these people, and these
Yeah,
people can tell him.
yeah. But you
That's
can't
kind
force
of
it.
where we're at.
You can't force if you run
Exactly.
out and go, he's naked, the people are gonna
No.
turn on you and chop your fucking head off. No one wants to hear that the emperor's naked.
Speaking about forcing, have you experienced any esoteric experiences associated with meditation? Like I I feel like there is some not mind reading. What do you call it? Telepathy going on. I've experienced many times. Of course, always unforced, spontaneous things that happen.
Hmm.
Makes me question really the whole concept of mind. I don't think it's as personal as we think. Not that it matters in this concept because you just pass through mind, but maybe that will help too. The mind, it doesn't seem to me to be personal even. How do you feel about that? Now we're leaving the map.
Esoteric experiences. I mean, I think the one that everyone has is you're thinking of someone that you haven't thought of in forever, and then they call you 5 minutes later or some shit. And they're like, I was just thinking, I think we've all had that.
Mm.
I don't think I've had any that would hold any value to anyone else. Their personal beliefs and personal feelings that have just sort of, I don't know, I will say with meditation, like very rarely, maybe a couple times a year, it's like a metal detector going over a beach and you pick up on something. Like for me, I'm very much so in this mode of building the podcast, right? And this is whatever I'm doing in this simulation. My lesson is being taught to me in the form of doing a podcast, right? Yours is music, someone else is playing basketball, whatever. This is just my curriculum. And I found that I'll reach a dead end. I won't know how I'm going to continue to grow the show. It'll feel like it's petering out. And I'll be meditating. I'll just be thinking of like what I want. Like, how am I going to grow this? And I'll do it for weeks and months and just come off empty handed. And then every once in a while, like the metal detector, like going over the thing, I'll start to feel this thing in like my stomach, and it comes up to like my whole body, and I almost get tingly, and it's like I see where I'm supposed to go. It's like, and it's not an instantaneous, like you need to send an email to this person and then you do it and then it's good. The thing I see is a feeling, and then it goes away, and like a year later I'll realize I'm at that exact point. It'd be like if you had a dream every night of petting a dog during a snowstorm and a bus drives by. Whatever, right? It's
Right.
not that you wake up from the dream and that's where you are. It's like 2 years will pass one day, and you'll be sitting there like scratching a dog, and you see a bus go by in a snowstorm, and you go, this is the thing. And that thing isn't necessarily important, but what it is an anchoring point, that if you've reached that point, that means everything around you that has made that point possible is the thing you were trying to reach. So your goal might not be, if you're moving, let's say you're an immigrant in like 1905, an analogy would be you're imagining the Statue of Liberty. And then one day you finally get there. And the Statue of Liberty is just a hunk of copper. It doesn't actually do anything. But when you're looking at the hunk of copper, that means that you're in the United States. And what that means is now you've made it to the promised land. You're here to do the land of opportunity and that whole shit, right? Start a family and do whatever.
Right.
That's what I found in the last 3-4 years, really, since starting the podcast, is I'll be meditating and I'll see something, or I'll feel something. Like when I was living with my parents, it was just like this feeling of having my own apartment. I was 30 years old living with my parents, and it was just like a metal detector going off the charts. Now the apartment itself wasn't that special. It was when I lived down in Maryland. It's just a fucking 1-bedroom apartment, whatever. But when I finally got there, and I remember one day I was like walking in and opening a door, and I realized it was the exact layout that I'd seen in this meditation a year prior. Now that apartment isn't necessarily special. There's nothing magical about it. It's just a room. But what that did mean is I was now at this point. Well, what was the importance of seeing this apartment when I was living with my parents? Well, now by being in the apartment, that implies I have an income. Well, where's the income? From the podcast. That means the podcast has succeeded to a degree. Last summer, a little over a year ago, I was meditating, and it just kind of came in. You don't force it. It just happens, where I was like standing at a counter looking out onto a city skyline, and just a couple floors up, and I could see like the lights at night, and just the feeling came like from head to toe, just like electrified. And I just remember it ended, and I remember thinking like, I'm gonna fucking see that one day, right?
Yeah.
And then there's some familial medical emergencies last year, and I was like, I want to go be closer to family. And I was like, I fucking, so I want to move up to New England, but I don't want to go live in the middle of fucking nowhere. And Boston's way too expensive. So I found Portland, which is hours north of, much smaller. And I was like, well, I've never lived in a city. And I was like looking at apartments all around Portland, and everything was like, yeah, no, we have an opening in 2028. And I was like, oh, I can't fucking do that. And then there's one building, and it's like the best building in the city. And I was like, do you guys have anything available? And they're like, actually, we have something available like right now. Like somebody like got off the waiting list this morning. Like, do you want? And it was like twice the rent of my old apartment. And I was like, fuck. But I've already lost one family member to suicide in 2014, and that's not what this was. It was just something else. And I was like, fuck it, money's not important. I'm gonna find a way. I have some savings. I'll worry about it when I get there. I just want to go be near family, right? And it was this whole clusterfuck of moving out, and it was a whole drama, and moving sucks, and I'm moving in, and like it was, I don't know, it was like December last year, and I was like unpacking the last of my dishes or something.
Yeah.
And I'm standing and I live downtown. I've never planned on living downtown in my life. I'm standing at this counter, looking out at the skyline. And I just stopped, and I was like, there it is. And now, is this apartment necessarily important? No, I like it. It's cool. It's fun. But it's just, it's where I sleep and do a podcast from. But how am I here? Well, if my rent is double, Well, that means the podcast is earning even more money now. Well, how's the podcast even more earning more money? Well, more views. What does that mean? You've gotten more subscribers, bigger guests. Oh, so the apartment's not important. It's what it represents. And I find that I'll talk about these things after they happened, but not before, because I think there's something where if you it's like a weird alchemy I haven't figured out, but I think if you like tell others, it fucks it up somehow. So like I
Yeah,
keep them to myself,
it's
but
very close to forcing, eh?
yeah. I
Hmm.
keep it to myself,
Yep.
and I'm not there yet.
Yeah,
I
you
have
can't even get attached to it. You have to like,
No,
okay,
yeah,
you
you
just
got to
suck up
go.
to
It'll
this.
happen when
Okay,
it
look,
happens,
okay.
right? And the other thing is you can't worry about how it will happen. So like last summer when it happened, I was like, well, I guess I have to move to a city. How am I going to move to a city? And I was like, no, don't fucking do that. You saw the point. No, just go about your life. Go about
Mhm.
meditating and work, whatever. And then it happens. And it happens in a way you'll never imagine that it could have happened. And right
Yeah.
now, I'm not quite at like the new metal detector thing, but I've gotten close. I'm on the borders of it. Like it happened like the other night, and then the last time it happened before that was like 2 months ago, where like deep, deep, like I know I'm getting closer to it. So I'd imagine sometime in the next couple months, I'll probably have an experience where it'll be some shit that makes no sense. I'll like I'll have a feeling that I'm sitting on a rock watching a squirrel, you know, I don't know, fuck a tree branch. And it'll just be ding, 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 ding. And that won't matter. And
Yeah.
then years from now, I'll be sitting there watching a squirrel fuck a tree branch, and I'll be like, why am I watching this? But what that will imply is that I don't know, I have some fucking house in the woods, and how did that happen? Oh, I met someone and I got married and I found love in my life, and then you start a family or some shit, and you'll go, oh. So in terms of like the esoteric stuff, that's the closest I could. And by the way, and so I've been meditating since 2008. I haven't started having these until about 3 or 4 years ago. And now I'm actually like moving towards them, and they're happening faster and faster. So a very long answer to your question is that's probably the most esoteric, to the point now where I don't even question it. Right. Um,
Right.
here's another one. It was like sometime in 2020, I was meditating, and I just had this weird thought. I was like wearing a sweater with a hood, and I was on one of those moving sidewalks in the airport,
Hmm.
and it was snowing outside, and it just struck with me. And I was like, that's fucking weird. December 2021, and none of it I never registered with me. My mom gave me like a white sweater with like a hood, and I love it. And like a couple days later, Dr. McCullough invited me to fly down to Austin, Texas, and go meet Alex Jones.
Ah,
And I went down and met him. And like right around that time, Dr. Malone went on Joe Rogan, and that's where he talked about mass formation psychosis. And
yes.
my flight kept getting delayed, and so they would just give you like a hotel voucher. And I remember at one point I don't remember where I don't know, maybe like Chicago or some shit. And they gave me a hotel voucher, and I'm walking on this moving sidewalk wearing this white sweater, and it's snowing outside, and it just clocked me across the face. And then like 3 days later, I did an episode about mass formation psychosis, and it's still my biggest episode ever. It's at like 1.5 million views. So I don't know what they are. I don't know what it means. But to me, I don't even question it anymore. When I get the feeling, I kind of smile and I go, oh, well, that's where I'm going next. So I know I just rambled for like 20 minutes, but that's my answer to your question.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. It is a straight and narrow because I feel like there is a benefit to recognizing these things, celebrating these, whatever you may call them, these experiences, without getting attached to them. That's the tricky part, right? That's you
Hmm.
you can get drawn in. It's like, oh, these things are happening to me, or whatever. But at the same time, you shouldn't ignore them. It's like, okay, thank you, or whatever. Just there's
Yeah.
something to be in bold here, and I see that in you because most people is like, oh, I'm gonna meditate. Maybe I can be a little better person. No, no, no. you have the potential to go all the way right now at this moment, and it's a serious matter. It's like you can, you don't have to be shy. At the same time, don't identify and get big headed. So that's the straight and narrow, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing about it is like, I mean, the implications for it are absolutely insane. I mean, to actually sit down and rationally discuss what we're talking about, this is some weird form of like undiscovered science where your mind's eye syncs up with some resonant field and you see a point in space time. I mean, this is like alien technology or some shit, right? So even just talking about it is wild. But I've now
Mm-hmm.
seen it multiple times and it's never failed. It's not like it's 80%, it's always correct. And it's the thing is and every time it happens, my life gets so much better in so many ways. I never thought it could have gotten better. And that's scary because it's scary to start
Yes.
to realize that life doesn't have to just be suffering. Life doesn't, because we're so used to it. We're like a battered wife. We're like, oh, it's a Stockholm syndrome, right? Where we go,
Right.
oh, I'm supposed to. Life is supposed to hurt. It's always supposed to fuck me in the ass, but that's not necessarily the case, and it's very, very scary to start to realize that no, life can actually be really, really cool. It's
Yeah.
still a lot of work, still a lot of suffering, but
Yeah.
that's scarier than not because you go, oh shit, your heart starts racing. You go, is this too good to be true? What is this? What is
Is it too big?
this? Is too good. I'm
What's the
getting tricked.
implication?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
What's the catch? Where's the fine print?
Yeah,
But there
yeah.
isn't any. And
No.
it's, I mean, dude, you start to feel like you're like touching on this weird esoteric truth, and you can't use it to like dominate others. It's not some black
No.
magic. It's
No.
just for you. And
Yeah.
it it's more real than anything I've ever experienced.
As a child, for some reason, I had a clear vision of what I was going to do with my life, and that was to recognize the common denominator in all religions. I remember standing in my room. I couldn't have been 5, 6. I was listening to the radio. They were talking about religion and different religions, and I was like, okay. So it seems like every country, every group, every all people have religions. Okay, so there must be something there, right? Yeah, everyone can't be wrong. If everyone has religion, there's got to be something there. On the other hand, one cannot be right.
Yeah.
It's like it's impossible for one to be right and all the others to be wrong. There has to be a common denominator here. And, of course, I forgot about that. But I remember having that thought. And eventually, that was the purpose of my life, to find that common denominator. And I feel like I did. And that's why I'm here today.
What So the same question to you. What esoteric experiences have you had?
Like I said, that telepathy thing freaked me out in the beginning. It's like, wow, this is too real to be a coincidence. You try to write it off as coincidence. And
Yeah.
it's like eventually like, okay, this is something else is going on here.
Yeah.
And then you try to like, okay, can I control this, or can
Hmm.
I? No, 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 no. Of course, everything falls to pieces. But then eventually you like, okay, this happens spontaneously from time to time. That I'm picking up on somebody else's minds, and I know what they're thinking. And at that moment, it's not even I know what they're thinking. It's more like, oh, here is a thought not even in the room.
Mm.
Here is a thought in passing by like a cloud, and it's neither his or mine, but in the normal sense, we would have said it was his thought.
I
But I feel it very dangerous to get attached to these things.
can't get attached to
Did
them.
you ever, did you ever do ayahuasca, or do you know people that do?
I've never done
Um,
ayahuasca. I've
you
done
don't have
no,
you
I've
don't
done
have
I've
to.
done pretty big doses of acid and pretty big doses of mushrooms.
I never did. Everyone I know, of course, have, and I see what they see, and I see the benefit, but it's never the whole, never it's never the whole thing. They always have to, there's always something they have to do and clear out afterwards.
Yeah.
I think Aubrey Marcus went into one of those sessions with the question, who am I? And it's like the answer was like, we can show you that. You can find out everything, but not that.
Yeah, you can't know that one.
You can't, we can't show you that.
Oh.
So therefore, it's like, okay, well, why I want to go all the way. I don't want
Yeah.
to get stuck in the worlds of different entities and being. That scares me a little bit. But then again, I see the benefit that when they come back, they shine and
Oh
they are
yeah.
loving. It's wonderful.
You can
I
tell
love
when
to be
someone
there.
has an experience. They come, yeah,
Yeah,
they shine like the sun.
and it opens them up, and again, it gives them that interest, so they can continue. It is
Yeah.
like a quick fix to get that interest. I think at least I don't know. I should speak for myself. I had an interest. I didn't have it from scratch, but it came along from suffering, of course, from recognizing my mental limitations. It was
Hmm.
painful. I was an asshole.
What you said about telepathy. I do remember one experience I had. It was when I was in college, so it had to have been like 2012. I remember having a particularly deep meditation, and I was living with five of my friends. I was about 22, and I remember I came out of it, and as if each room was like playing music. They weren't. It was early in the morning, but it was like I could pick up on these different feelings coming from each room. And it was like this guy was just bored, this guy's happy, this guy's working. And I remember one guy, it was like this guy's sad. And it's like and he's like it's like brand new. And I just remember I like went and just kind of like lightly knocked and he was like, yo, I opened up. I was like, hey man, I was just you just popped in my head. Like, how's everything going, dude? I know we don't talk because I studied all the time. I was a hermit.
Yeah.
And he was telling me, I think it's like he had just found out that like his girlfriend broke up with him or some shit. But to me, that was always the wildest shit. That and it wasn't like this weird hunch of like, yeah, just go ask your friends how they're doing. You know, it was as if like a song was playing.
Yeah.
I got up and I was like, I have to go. It wasn't like this odd, like, yeah, what do I just call my friend and ask him how he's doing? No, it was like a squeaky wheel. I was like, I have to fucking get up and go like put a shirt on. I was like, I gotta go like deal with that.
Right.
I've
Well,
never had it since then. I have no idea what the fuck it was. But again, it was as real as like if you're sleeping and somebody turned a light on, you'd be like, turn that light off, dude. Like it was that real.
right. Yeah, you were feeling his thoughts and emotions. That's what I'm saying.
Wildest thing.
It's not as personal as we think.
No, it's not like you're reading their mind.
No,
No,
no.
it's just like it's this thing radiating from them.
I find since I broke through in meditation, I can sense where people are in the sense of their identity, because it's like a sliding scale, right? You can
Yeah.
be fully ego, fully emerged in your ego life, and then you can slide back to being eventually just awareness. Most people are somewhere in the middle of that.
Yeah.
I can read that.
Yeah.
I think I can read that. I think I think I can read it on one side of the scale. If I meet someone who's, I don't know, I
Farther along than you can't really.
yeah, I don't know. I'm speculating now,
Yeah, no, no,
but it's
I
easy
feel
to
that.
sense where they are, and then you can like, okay, well, this person needs to be met here, and maybe moved along. We start to nudge, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
A little nudging. I learned nudging in when I went to University of Colorado. I was a communication major.
Yeah.
So I was familiar with nudging for a long time. So I knew what they were doing when they started with the pandemic. I was like, I see you right away from day one. It's like, see what you're doing.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, I definitely feel that too, where you meet someone and you're like, oh, I see where you are. And
Mhm.
it's humbling because then you
Yeah,
realize that when you were in that spot, somebody was probably looking at you and they were loving.
exactly.
They didn't judge
Like,
you. They didn't make fun of you.
no, they wanted to help you. They tried to help you. You ignore them.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you go, oh, and then what's cool is, but you can't see past where you are. That's what I found is like there's almost a wall. You can tell if someone is farther ahead than you, but you can't tell how far ahead. Are they that far ahead of you? Are they that far ahead? You don't know. You do get this feeling though of like they're ahead of me. It's like you're in a
Yeah,
race and you don't have a window in the front.
yeah.
And a race is
Eventually,
a bad yeah, a race is a
yeah,
bad analogy because
that thought will have to go. That's a
yeah, you
dangerous thought.
can't call it a race because but just for this analogy, let's say you're
I
in a
see.
race, you don't have a windshield out front. But let's say you have a little computer and it says you're in second place. Now, the guy in
Yeah,
first place might be right in front of you. He might be 100 miles in front of you. But what you can do is you do have a window in the back and you can see other people along the way.
right.
And you go, that's where he, and no, race is a terrible analogy for it, but it's the only one. It's
Yes.
the only one because it's not a competition and it goes forever.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it's the analogy I have of like, you go, oh, or I'm in fourth place. Or just maybe it doesn't even say that. It just goes like, you're not in first. You don't know how many people are ahead of you,
Right.
but you can look behind you and you see other people. And
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely get that feeling. That's very foggy though.
Yeah. I don't think it's important either.
No, I don't think
It's
it
an
is.
opportunity to, if you can see where people are, you can also be of help.
It's a
If
good little lesson in empathy.
otherwise you don't know where to meet them.
Yeah, no, it's not important in terms of like this is how far along I am. If anything, it's like a nice little lesson in empathy. And when you see yourself looking at someone and going, "Oh, they're stuck in this spot. I remember when I was stuck in that spot." Well, then you have to assume that there's someone in front of you going, "Oh, look where Tommy is. I remember when I was there. That part sucks." No, but you'll get through it, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
And then if
It's
it's a,
fascinating.
if it's a racetrack in a circle, then technically the guy in last place isn't he looking back at the guy in first place? Goes forever.
And you can cheat.
Yeah.
The guy in last place, he can just
Hit the
claim himself
brakes.
a winner, and most people will say, "Oh, he's the winner."
He was the guy in the front.
Yeah, yeah. So, because I sometimes I say this to people when I try to just open up a little door. It's like fill in the blank. The nature of mind is you answer with silence. That's beautiful. That is the true nature of mind. But for the sake of this argument, the nature of mind is unlimited.
Hmm.
And that usually puts people's like, what? Unlimited? It has to be a limit. No, no, show me that limit. And it's like, and then, you have to stop there because that's like psychosis warning if they're not ready.
And then
I'm a massage therapist. I have the opportunity to have these conversations from time to time under
yeah.
those circumstances. Yeah.
And then if it's like if the universe is infinite, then that means every point is the center. So once you realize that it's unlimited and infinite, you also kind of lose this idea of we gotta get to the point. And it's like every point is the point.
Yeah.
This is technically where I am right now, is technically the center of the earth. It is the center of the entire map. Because it's equidistant in every direction, therefore I'm at the center.
I was going to say equal distance from, because when we're speaking about this, we make a lot of contradictions. A person that is not familiar what we're talking about will hear a lot of contradictions. And I feel like the contradictions are actually the road signs now. Because when you discover that what is this, it sounds like contradictions, yeah, but you have to look in the middle now. Because
Yeah.
it's contradicting, it's like, okay, but what's in between?
Yeah.
That is where the truth is. So you have to kind of, I realized the contradictions were driving me mad. It's like, but this doesn't make sense with that. You said that and that.
And
It's like, no. Right in the middle of that is
then
empty
Terrence
space.
McKenna, right? Terrence McKenna goes,
Yeah.
uh, you'll go deep down into the place where the contradictions flow together. And that's the other thing is the very problem that we have contradictions That's us on this plane of rationality.
Yeah.
Why do contradictions matter? Well, they're not allowed to. Why not? 1 + 1 is 2, or it's 7. Fuck does it matter? It has to equal 2. Why? We used the analogy about the race, but we both accepted that it's a bad analogy, but we still used it.
Yes.
So which one's real? They both are.
Yes.
It
Yes.
doesn't matter.
It's beautiful.
Fuck yeah, man. I like this. I feel good. I needed this talk.
Exactly. We all do from time to time, and I feel such joy when I can speak about this.
It is
Sometimes you try a little bit. It's like you just see the empty
just
blank in
nothing.
your eyes. It's like, okay, next time maybe.
Yeah.
Uh,
But Jonah, let's wrap this one up, man. We're coming up on an hour. So
Thank you, sir. That
let's
was
wrap.
great stuff.
That was awesome. Yeah, and guys, if you
Mhm.
go into the description, I believe I have it. I have a link to your music, Gold
Yeah,
Heart.
yeah. I'm not on any social media. I don't have a smartphone. I don't have a
Oh,
digital ID. I am fully analog, and I intend to do so. I am
hell yeah.
now. I am recently graduated from gardening school. I'm moving out in the country. I've been planning to do this for a long time. I'm gonna survive this, Tommy,
Hell yeah.
without any
Hell
digital
yeah.
ID. But I'm on Spotify and YouTube and iTunes.
The contradictions flow. I am out into the woods, but you can find me at Spotify.
Yes,
I only have
exactly.
your web. You only pulled up right now. I have your website, Gold Heart.
Yeah,
Um,
goldheartmusic.com.
and then
It's been around for ages,
yeah,
but I try to update it every once in a while.
yeah, no,
I got new music coming, many tunes coming,
and I
all
have
about the mandates and the lockdowns and all of that.
the link to it is in the description. Can you send me a link to your Spotify? And I guess I could just Google it.
Yeah, I think I had it sent it to you in one of the first mails.
Yeah, I looked back. I found your website. Bu- 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 bu.
I'll send it to you after when we finish this.
Yeah,
I don't want to crash my old computer.
yeah, no, don't crash your computer. Yeah, send that to me and I'll put it in the description so people can go check you out.
Maybe yes.
But dude, this was a total pleasure, man. I'd love to do it again sometime.
Yeah, let's check in again.
Fuck yeah. Jonah Gold.
We never got to compare COVID madness, America to Sweden.
Let's do it.
Let's do it sometime.
Hell yeah. Jonah, thank you so much for your time from Stockholm. Thank you, sir. Guys, thank you for watching. Jonah,
Thank you.
much